their charter. And as for Harry Truman, I get in trouble when I say this. I don't care. If you measure the number of deaths per second, he's the greatest mass murderer in the history of the world.
Yeah.
By dropping those atomic bombs, the first of which was aimed at a Roman Catholic basilica on a Sunday.
And again, look what probably, countless billions we do to spend on so-called intelligence, or trillions, I should say by now. And what have they brought us? Tell me the great CIA, we got them before it happened.
I'll tell you what they brought us. Hatred around the world. People wanting to kill Americans and destroy us because of what the CIA has done to them. That's what they brought us. JFK had his brains blown out within a few months of saying, I'm gonna shut down the CIA and scatter its assets to the four corners of the world. It's a government within a government, and it has no accountability. And you mentioned how much money they've spent. We'll never know how much money they've spent, even though the Constitution, you and I have talked about this, my dear friend, even though the Constitution says all expenditures of the federal government shall be recorded in a public register. Go try and find that register. Go try and look up what the intelligence community spends. You can't find it. They don't give a damn about the Constitution. And every single one of them took, from Bloody Gina and Mike Pompeo on down, took an oath to uphold it.
And again, what you're writing about, we're talking about, the people have no idea what's going on. I mean, nobody knows what you're just saying here. Maybe, out of the whole country of 332 million, maybe 1,000, 10,000 people know this.
And it's sad that people don't care that these blatant violations of human rights and of the Constitution go on over and over and over again. And the government gets bigger, fatter, more bankrupt, and more secret every day.
The people would care if they made an issue of it. Like when you go to the Ukraine war, it's day after day, picture after picture in all of the media, on TV, everywhere, but not with the Iraq war, not with the Afghan war, not with the Libyan war, not with the Yemen war, none of those. We won't show anything. So if the people were tuned into this, they'd say, wow, just like, look what they're being tuned into now. The big news, January 6th, 2020.
That's what we're going to be deluged with in the next couple of weeks, starting tonight, where every network except Fox, one of the Fox networks, I think the Fox Business is covering it, but Fox News, which is the vastly larger of the two, is going to go with its normal programming. But everybody else is covering it. So you go to CBS, not only is CBS television covering it, but CBS radio is covering it. I think they're even preempting the Mets here in the New York City area to cover this stuff.
And what do you think the outcome of this is going to be?
I think they're going to make a criminal referral against former President Trump to the DOJ, and then it'll be up to Merrick Garland to decide what he wants to do. Does he want us to look like a banana republic where the Justice Department prosecutes a former president, or is there real evidence of crimes here? Is this a political stunt by the Democrats to give them a boost in the November midterms, which they're widely expected to lose? Or are they seriously performing a service to the American public by revealing a serious effort to overthrow the government? I mean, I don't know how the American public is going to accept it one way or the other.
Yeah, this is, again, all the attention is going to be put on this, and the people have no idea the real things going on affecting their lives. Just like we heard for how many months, Amber Heard, or we never heard of before, and Johnny Depp. Is showing the stupidity of what these people are doing, and how this should be what you just wrote about, about Bloody Gina and a team of torturers to see where America's gone, where it's going, and how bad it's become, and all our loss of our constitutional rights and our human privileges.
You know, if we had the ability, Gerald, I would say take one of those young people that works for you, give them a camera and a microphone, and just go out in the streets and ask them, do you know who Johnny Depp is? Do you know who Bloody Gina is? you know what the answers are going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. 100 to 0.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, Judge, thanks so much. And again, it's so sad what's going on here, and I'm very concerned about the future of our country. But the good news is, people like you, me, and Scott Ritter, and Phil Giraldi, and McGregor, and Paul Craig Roberts, a number of us are fighting for freedom, peace, and justice. Ron Paul, one after another, Massey down in Kentucky, and on. Everybody, July 23rd of this year, up here in Kingston, New York, on the Four Corners of Freedom, we're going to have a Peace and Freedom Festival, and Judge Napolitano is going to be the speaker there to bring it all together. We're going to have, great bands, music, food, and, drinks, entertainment. And so please come here we're going to start at 2 p.m. July 23rd on the Four Corners of Freedom, John and Crown Street, the only place in America where there are pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings on each corner. And the seeds of democracy was sown here. Over 70% of America's Constitution comes from the Constitution that was written right over here. I can almost throw a rock and hit the building, where John Jay, the Supreme Court judge, was a judge over here. And when New York was the first Kingston was the capital of New York, the first capital before the British burnt it down, that's where the Constitution was written. So we're bringing freedom back.
And
so
that's where I believe Chief Justice John Jay's remains are still interred.
Yep. And so the judge is going to be there, and you're going to want to be here too. Again, we're going to be putting it up on the Occupy Peace site in just a few days, but keep it in your head. And thanks, Judge. We'll see you next week.
Pleasure, Gerald.